Minister Chamber.
Thank you, Chairperson, sir, for allowing me to speak on the Union Budget 21-22. Sir, I stand before this House to congratulate the Honourable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, and our Honourable Finance Minister for presenting an extremely progressive and holistic Union Budget that serves as a vision document for the coming decade.
Giriraj Singh ji.
Sir, the budget not only addresses the concerns of our nation and prioritizes the needs of every citizen in these extremely unprecedented, unimaginable, and extremely difficult times. It also fulfills the government's commitment to make our country truly Atmanirbhar and a Vishwaguru. No doubt, sir, the pandemic had a detrimental impact on economies worldwide, including ours. Our government proactively responded and stretched its resources to deliver to the most vulnerable sections of the society while it continued efforts to overcome our internal economic challenges, be it distribution of food grains, free cooking gas, or direct cash transfers. Under the able leadership of our visionary Prime Minister, Shri Modi ji, our government did everything to cater to and uplift our farmers, women, elderly, the poor, and the needy. Honourable Chairperson, sir, the pandemic made us realize the importance of health institutions, and it is commendable that this government has acknowledged the same and has increased the health expenditure by 137%. In the past, India has relied on the West for innovation and development. But with the production of two COVID-19 vaccines in our country, we have reversed the roles, as there are around 25 countries across the world waiting in queue for the Made in India COVID vaccine. Extremely proud of our scientists and medical fraternity for achieving this. Rolling out of the Pradhan Mantri Atmanirbhar Swasth Bharat Yojana. Sir, this will help in developing capacities of public healthcare systems and reflects our government's commitment to ensure accessible and affordable healthcare for all. As potable drinking water is a prerequisite to achieving universal health, sir, I welcome the decision to extend Jal Jeevan Mission to urban areas of our country. It's a huge boon for the state of Rajasthan, as there is a huge water scarcity in our state. So this will go a long way in helping us overcome that problem, sir. The launch of Mission Poshan 2.0 is a concentrated effort to eradicate malnutrition and nurture our children and pregnant women. Despite the various financial setbacks in the last year, the sharp increase in the capital budget will enable the building of physical and financial capital. National Infrastructure Pipeline and PLI schemes to create global manufacturing champions, along with setting up of mega investment textile parks, are generous measures towards strengthening the textile sector and MSMEs. This will directly benefit our highly skilled workforce and boost industries, thereby cementing India's position in Asia and the world. The commitment to complete an additional 11,000 kilometers of national highways, introduction of Metrolite and Metro Neo to provide futuristic public transport, as well as the commissioning of dedicated Western and Eastern freight corridor will help to create infrastructure, employment opportunities, and uplift the Tier 2 cities, sir. Our government has worked relentlessly to empower the women of our country, sir, which reflects in the decision to further extend the Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana by 1 crore beneficiaries. I am deeply grateful to our Honourable Prime Minister, Narendra Modi ji, to have brought in laws, schemes, campaigns and reforms for the safety, health, well-being, dignity, financial security, education and rights of the women in our country. This has brought about a huge change in the mindsets of the people of our country. And one of the biggest examples is the largest representation of women in the parliament this time, sir. That goes to show that all these social reforms have made a huge difference and have impacted the people of our country hugely. And I would like to say here that we cannot thank our Prime Minister enough. Not only has he brought in reforms in every way, legal reforms, political reforms, and reforms in every sector, but also social reforms. He is one of the biggest social reformists of our times. And I cannot thank him enough for that, for thinking about us women and truly making us Atmanirbhar. The budget focuses on qualitative strengthening of 15,000 schools, which is a big step towards implementation of the national education policy. Sir, being a soldier's daughter, my father was an army man, and my constituency Rajsamand in Rajasthan, having extensive ex- and serving army personnel, along with a large tribal population, I welcome the decision of opening Sainik and Eklavya model schools and thank our Honorable Prime Minister for substantially increasing the budget allocation for defense this year in the union budget. Every budget of this government has acknowledged the importance of farmers and the building of agriculture-related infrastructure. Our government is steadily increasing procurement at an MSP 1.5 times higher than the cost of production. Apart from this, the measures to provide adequate credit and opening up agricultural exports will substantially increase the incomes of our farmers. True to the efforts and promises of ensuring minimum government and maximum governance, and for moving in cognizance with the changing times, the increasing use of AI and modern technology has helped in identifying tax evasion, and this is evident from the record GST collections in the last few months. The government's decision to conduct the country's first ever digital census this year is monumental, sir. So, as a representative of Rajsamand, Rajasthan, I am confident that these infrastructural measures and schemes proposed will address issues ranging from connectivity, education, skill development, health and sanitation, and will further enhance employment opportunities along with comprehensive economic growth of the region and the country. Speaker, sir, I express my sincere gratitude to the Honorable Prime Minister and the Finance Minister for an all-embracing and prudently curated union budget. Also, I have a lot of demands for my constituency, but since we are short of time, I will bring them up at a later date when the demand for grants discussion comes up. Thank you so much, Speaker, sir, for allowing me to speak on the union budget.
Shri